Over the past year, I have taken a long and hard look at my finances and realized that I've been overspending. So this has prompted me to look a little bit more carefully at some of my spending habits and where exactly my money is going. And like any young woman, I am constantly being bombarded by ads for new items, the latest trends, societal pressures to maintain a certain look, and keeping up with the Joneses. For example, earlier this year, I bought another Away suitcase. No, I already had one. So why did I buy a second one? Well, this one is made of plastic and it's a little bit lighter and smaller than the aluminum one that Steven gifted me. And I had a $100 off offer on my credit card. Now, this is the kind of spending that I would deem unnecessary and brings us to our first mindset shift. Is it a want or a need? Now, it's totally fine to have wants and to even indulge in them sometimes, but it's important to keep that in mind when you're making purchases and distinguish between the two. This for me was 100% a want, but I justified it as a need because I needed it for our Europe trip coming up this summer, as the airlines are a little bit more strict on their weight and size policies. Comparing the two side by side though, they're not really that different. But really, I just love the color of this and I just really wanted it. And after I made the purchase, I felt a little bit guilty because I didn't actually need it. Now, if I'd gone into the purchase clear about how this was a silly want of mine and I would just shift my budget accordingly to be able to afford it, I would not have really felt that guilt that I did after making the purchase. I think I would have been a lot more content with my purchase and really enjoyed it more because I just wanted it. It's just something that I want. Now, don't get me wrong, I still really love this, but I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit harder to fully enjoy a purchase if you have a little bit of buyer's remorse. So this doesn't mean that you should just not buy things that you want, but maybe put it on your wish list for a little bit longer, think about it some more, and wait until the price drops or for a special occasion before buying it. Now, my Stanley, on the other hand, was 100% a want. As you can see, we have like combined, I don't know, 20 water bottles. So this household is in no way short of any water bottles. But when the Stanley Cup became popular, like I guess 2 years ago, I wanted one. I thought it was a great product because it could hold a lot of water and it had a straw and could also fit in the cup holder. That didn't mean that I needed a second one. I bought this one because I thought that I needed like a backup one for in case this one ever broke, but in actuality, I never used this one. Now, I did buy it because I like the color of it, but I think it's kind of dumb to have a backup of something that you're never going to use or that may not necessarily like wear out super fast, because who knows if in a couple years I will even want the same product anymore. Maybe they'll come out with a newer and better one in the future and I won't even want to use this, but I'm gonna be stuck having it since I already bought it. Another example, I have like 100 pens in here because every time I go to a Muji store, I buy more pens because I don't know when the next time I will go to a Muji store. I only go through like 5 pens a year. I do not need this many pens. So just because you like an item does not mean you need a backup, or in my case, like 100 backups. Very rarely have I not been able to find an item that is similar or maybe even better than an item that I loved in the past. And I feel like that is maybe even the best part about shopping. It's the researching and the comparing and then finally finding that perfect item that you have been looking for. I do the same thing with clothes too. I have 2 of the same Lululemon skirts. I bought a backup pair because I knew that the white one would get dirty, and it kind of already did. But I realized later on that I found a skirt that I actually liked better than these ones, and I kind of regretted the purchase. But that's not the only problem that I have with clothes. Just because it's cheap doesn't mean you need to buy it. I actually have a lot of clothes in my closet that I bought just because they were cheap, and the majority of my clothes that I bought when I was in college were because they were affordable and not actually because I really liked the item necessarily. There are some exceptions to the case, but there are also a lot of things in my closet that I have never worn. Like this jacket, for example. It still has the tag on it. It's super cute, but I have never worn it. Same thing with this dress. It's really cute, but I have also never worn this. I think that the biggest waste of money and space is buying cheap things that you will never use, because then they just sit there and they don't get any use out of them. Now, I'm still gonna keep these items because I actually do really like them. I'm kind of just waiting for the occasion to wear them, but if in a year or two I still have not worn them, I think that it would be time to part ways with it. But I also have a lot of cheaper purchases that I actually regretted and wish I never bought in the first place. Like my work bag. I think it's cute. It's a pretty standard tote in my favorite color. It's from Kate Spade, but I bought it because it was really cheap and not because I actually really loved it. But now I feel like I'm kind of just stuck using it until it gives out, because I kind of treated it poorly, so it's not really in a condition that I would want to donate or sell it. So if I were to do it over again, I would want to invest in something that I really truly loved and would elevate the way that I felt every time that I wore it. Which brings us to the next mindset shift. Quality over quantity. As I've gotten older, I have continuously recognized that this is the way to go. I know that when I was younger, I would hear that sometimes and I would think, yeah, quality is great, but when you're living on a student budget, it's kind of hard to conceptualize. Now, when I look at my closet, I see that the pieces that I've gotten rid of are all the cheaper things I bought that didn't stand the test of time. And I think that digitizing my closet also helped me to understand something else as well. Cost per wear. I could buy something for $5 and it could only last me for one wear, or I could buy something for $500 that I could wear 500 times. The cost per wear of the more expensive item is much lower than the cheaper item, $1 compared to $5. So the more expensive item could actually be a better purchase, although you do need to make an investment. But that's not to say that cheaper items can't be good purchases too, and that you can't get a lot of use out of them. But I think that it's important to evaluate the item as a whole and spend money intentionally and meaningfully. This is something that I've been hearing a lot, and I don't think that I fully understood it until more recently. I think that it's really easy to spend money, especially on impulsive purchases, but I have realized that I tend to value the purchases that I put a lot more thought into compared to the items that I purchased a little bit more spontaneously. My Longchamp Les Pliage, for example, was something that I was kind of on the hunt for quite a while. I was looking for a good travel bag, and when I came across this one and finally decided to purchase it, I feel like I got kind of like a hit of dopamine. Like, I finally found the perfect bag after a long search, and after deciding on the bag, I even spent some time trying to decide what color I wanted to get before I finally pulled the trigger. On the other hand, like 2 months later, I saw that the bags had gone on sale for different colors and sizes, so I purchased 2 more in different colors. Did I need these 2? No, not necessarily. But did I really like the colors? Yes. And did I kind of want one that was a little bit bigger? Yes, too. Because these purchases were less thought out and a little bit more spontaneous, I feel like I didn't quite enjoy them as much as I did the first one. Now, when I purchase an item, I think less about the price itself, but more about the use cases for an item. Will I be able to use it more than once? How often am I going to use it? Will it last a long time? And is this something that is potentially trendy that I will fall out of love with in the future? I feel like these questions help me to better decide whether I'll be happy with a purchase long term. For example, I feel like I do not need all these clothes because I wear scrubs to work 5 days a week. And when I'm at home, I usually have a couple loungewear pieces that I wear for days in a row and wash frequently. But I know that it's going to take some time for me to feel a little bit more comfortable with parting ways with some of these items, but I feel like I've been making some pretty good progress lately. I've been selling some of my designer items that are still in good condition, and I am donating a bunch of these clothes this week to Make-A-Wish. I got one of these postcards in the mail a week ago, and I thought that this was the perfect opportunity to finally give these clothes a new home. They have been sitting in my room for months now at this point. I just haven't gotten around to taking them to Goodwill, and I thought that this is the perfect opportunity because they do pickups. So I have a bunch of clothes to donate. But I feel like these little mindset shifts and changes have really helped me to feel better about the purchases that I've made, and also just get rid of things that I don't need and kind of let go of them. But if you've made it this far, please leave a heart emoji down in the comments below and let me know any money saving or decluttering tips that you have. And please be sure to give this video a like if you enjoyed it. And if you like this video, please be sure to give it a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.